The D-pad contains crude language, cringe humor, and suggestive themes. Viewer discretion is advised.
We're gonna have a TV party tonight. Alright! We're gonna have a TV party, alright!
Okay, so anything else before we start?
Kane lives.
Okay, well, welcome to the D-pad. I'm your host, DZ Dog. We're here with Austin Trench, Dragonking Mark, and Commissar.
Yep.
So,
It is me, the Trench Man.
Yep. Commissar's gonna have
Hide in the trenches.
So, Com, this is your first intro, like you're here for the intro, rather than just jumping in.
Yep.
It's
It's
kinda
weird
cutting
actually
out.
hearing an intro.
Yeah.
Guess luck was on your side today.
Yes,
Indeed.
it was.
Okay, so you wanted to talk about Star Wars?
So a lot of things have come out recently.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yep,
look
yeah.
at
let's let
the
Commissar
deal about that.
low
Like,
down.
why is it so divisive?
I don't. Well, I think I know it's like some inflammatory responses to it. I mean, the tone of it is like one of the characters is like, "I'm right, you're wrong. Do as I say," and all sorts of shit, and keeps everything to a secret to themselves, which commanding officer doesn't have to tell the troops anything. And that's the way one of the characters did, and people interpret it as, I guess, it's because she's a chick, she's sidelining the guy or some shit. I don't know.
What?
And there were some weird things. So for people who haven't seen the movie, spoiler stuff ahead. I'm sure D will put like some.
Yeah. Spoiler alert. Skip to 6 minutes into the recording to avoid any spoilers.
Okay. So there were some weird things about it too. One of the big things about it that I didn't like about the film was weirdly how Leia was shot out into the vacuum of space and used the Force to get back into the ship. And when they opened a door where there's a room leading to the vacuum of space, no decompression happened there either, but Leia used the fucking Force while in space to get back into a cruiser.
Isn't there a meme about that already?
I think there is.
There's a meme for everything.
Yeah.
Like, that was one of the big things that really did bother me about it. Like, what the hell?
Well, Leia is strong on the Force too, so I guess maybe it was like her first attempt at actually using the Force.
Yeah, I mean, she just like was shot out, unconscious, opened her eyes, and just used the Force and flew towards the ship. Watching it was weird and all that to me.
Wait, I thought that was kind of cool, but I also love that one scene when they literally literally went hyperspace right through the fleet.
That was the other thing that bothered me. I mean, I can understand shotting yourself into one ship and destroying it, like the big, like, this is an obvious target ship, but how did it, like, rip the other ships in half, too, where the ships were not
Probably
in the same area? But it cut them through. If it was, like, an impact shot, it would have ripped, I suppose. And that's the thing, like, you had some Star Destroyers hovering near the port ends of it where there was no rupture on the ship itself, but they were somehow perfectly cut in half, too. And just, like, even to go by the physics of, like, kamikazing a ship at light speed to rip through something, if you're cutting through one object directly, you're not going to slice other objects that aren't near the incision point. Like, cutting things does not work like that. Like, if they took out the big ship and, like, yay, the big ship's gone and we can actually survive without having to worry about all these smaller class ships ripping us a new one, that would have been interesting. But That was my other big. Oh, and what was the last one? Luke being a whiny giver-upper guy. That kind of struck odds with me.
I don't know. I mean,
And
considering what
we basically
happened,
saying, hey,
and
we want to do our own story.
That's right. Everyone gets
Oh
their
yeah,
own
I mean
Star
you can do
Wars.
your own story, but if you're going to take like established characteristics and kind of turn them upside down, it's kind of ventures into the weird area that was the expanded universe novels, where while it was considered canon for a while, it all in all it was like a weird fan fiction series with some of the books. But those are my thoughts on things.
Yeah.
Ewok Jedi, enough said.
I didn't see the movie, sadly.
Yeah.
Didn't really feel it.
But I mean, like I said at the beginning, before my long rant, overall, I liked it more. It was definitely better than The Force Awakens.
I thought it was pretty good. I thought actually it was pretty freaking good. I mean, like first time around, I'm like, holy shit.
Oh yeah, and don't let all my negative things go. Think like I didn't like it. Those were my critiques of things that bothered me of it, but I liked it too.
I thought it was awesome.
Oh yeah.
I haven't seen it either. I'm planning on to. I don't know. I've just been busy and other things I've wanted to watch. But I will see it soon.
Netflix recently released a movie.
Oh,
Right.
right. AKA Shadowrun.
Yes.
Yeah,
I've
it's
never read
basically
those.
a poor man's Shadowrun.
It's a very ghetto Shadowrun.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never read the book, so I don't understand the, the implications and what people mean by that. But if you want to say it's Shadowrun, then yeah, it is Shadowrun, but it is much different than what you think because it is more of David Ayer style. If you don't know who David Ayer is, he is the man who made the first ever suicide movie.
Wait, what? Could you repeat that? Sorry, it kind of glitched out.
David Ayer. It was directed by David Ayer, the guy who directed the first Suicide Squad film.
Oh.
We also had no, but this one's actually a lot better than Suicide Squad, so it's not a shit show.
That's good.
Well, at least in my opinion. It is a buddy cop film, but none of the cops are buddies. Where Joel Edgerton is in it, which I'm surprised they got him on board. Hopefully, Joel Edgerton has a contract where he can make his own movies with Netflix. Maybe we'll get something similar to the movie The Gift, which I recommend you guys see because that movie's fucked up. Joel Edgerton plays the first ever, for some reason in this universe, orc cop. And orcs and humans and elves live together in this universe where elves are the richer version, humans are in the middle, and the orcs are the poorest of the poor, because years ago, this is actually part of the lore, orcs kind of did like a Nazi thing where they joined up with an evil elf known as the Dark Lord. And so people have been like just shitting on them from the beginning. And there's some
There's a bit of an interesting dynamic going on.
Drench, you there? Lost him.
He's dead, Jim.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but it looks interesting. Just the idea of
pro sequence where he pauses how long the feud has been, what orcs have been doing. It was the humor who's being racist to an orc, which is like it's a weird movie. It's a Max Landis wrote film. Don't worry, people, he's not going to be making the next one because Max Landis is in some trouble. Let's put it that way. For being a perv, which I'm laughing at because how could a scrawny little fuck like that actually hurt anyone? But I'm kind of happy they're getting rid of him because no one deserves to have an abuser like that working in the film industry. But so far, it's very well written. It has a really good world in it. it's that you don't get to see much of it. It's got some great action. It's mostly practical effects with CG for magic scenes. I don't want to spoil a lot of it there, but there are some pretty funny jokes. One at the expense of the Illuminati. And it's got some really cool ideas tackling racism in some way where you get to see how pretty much no matter what, everybody's going to be racist to everybody, but they're trying to coexist. Where Will Smith's character's daughter tells him that, hey, my friend thought orc was stupid at school. And like, no, orcs are not dumb. It's like, but he can't stand his partner who's an orc, where he's kind of very hypocritical and kind of lying to her about the real world. But his daughter is trying to enforce the fact that she has this. She's barely in the movie, but she does make a good impact when she's actually really nice to the orc guy named. And he's like, hey, don't talk to Nick like that. He's a person too. He's like that's a lot better than how Will Smith's daughter interaction was in Suicide Squad, which is a lot better because it's not a film that's been remade over and over. This film it's low budget, but not in a way where it makes you feel like it's a cheap film. It makes you feel like, wow, this is a blockbuster on demand type of thing. Where they got great action sequences, and it's really gory, violent, and curse word filled. So if you're one of those people who likes Alien Nation, and even the people who worked on it called it Alien Nation meets Lord of the Rings, I recommend you see it. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I kind of like that it's low budget. It kind of has this makes it look more gritty, I guess. It adds to the whole cop drama feel to it, I guess. Just from what I've seen in the trailers.
It's a lot more depressing of a world they live in.
Listen up, Agent. 16 hours ago, Amadeus Guildenstern traveled through time and kidnapped all the presidents. Between you and your objective is Guildenstern's elite unit of villains, his executive branch of evil, Schadenfreude.
Well, anything else about Bright?
Apparently, I'm the only one
Yeah,
that
I
saw
can
it.
imagine.
Yeah, because I haven't seen it yet. I want to see it, though. Okay, well, if no one else wants to talk about it anymore, I linked something about, hold on, what was it? It was this game that's coming out on the Switch. It's like a stealth game. It's called Never Stop Sneaking. It's kind of like a parody of like Metal Gear Solid, and it looks interesting. It's very tongue-in-cheek. It's kind of, I guess, like Binding of Isaac. You clear rooms like by sneaking past guards and stuff like that. It looks kind of repetitive, but I'll probably get it if I ever get a Switch, just for the, I'm a fan of Metal Gear, that kind of genre stuff.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Well, they start off with the first line of kept you waiting, huh? Or something as a joke about that.
I have no idea. I just read the article, but I have a feeling it's going to be parodying a lot of the typical Kojima stuff. Like, long cutscenes, make no sense. It looks great.
Huh.
Anyone play Metal Gear Solid 5? I have yet to play it, actually. No,
I played Metal Gear Solid 4.
I played 4, but not 5.
5 is awesome.
Yeah, even though I've been spoiled with the ending, it still looks fun. Still want to play it.
Yep.
I don't really play
The first mother base from Peace Walker gets destroyed.
Oh,
Well, that's what with the quick little game they did for MGS5. What was before Phantom Pain? It was Ground Zeroes.
Mm-hmm.
The place that was blowing up and stuff was the mother base that you worked on in the Peace Walker game, which was the PSP game that you were working on. Well, basically playing Pokemon with mercenaries, capturing and recruiting people, and building up a base off of Costa Rica.
Did not know that.
Yep.
But also one other thing about this game, it kind of has this low poly style, like early PS1. I guess that's like the new thing that's going around, is making games low poly. Like I think
Like
there's
to look like the PS1 graphics.
yeah, like there's it's like GTA 5 in 1993 or something. And it's just like the entire game just low poly. Like I guess it's the opening cutscene or something. But yeah, I guess this is the new trend that everyone's following because it's getting easier to like make games and stuff like that.
Yeah, and it probably kind of hooks a line on the nostalgia feeling of like,
Remember the 90s?
this game looks so unrealistic now. This reminds me of my childhood.
Yeah, that's basically what it is, which I'm kind of tired of that to an extent, but this, I don't know, I like this for some reason. The whole low poly style.
Well, I mean, for some things like that to work, it's all about presentation and how it's gone about it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I haven't seen anything of the game, so I have no room to talk on how the game is portraying it.
Yeah, I've just seen like little screenshots of it, and it looks good. Like it looks kind of like something that would come out in the mid to early 90s. But how does it look? That's one of the things that I'm concerned about.
生きるリバサイガスの吹きたまりはまちまったやつほど口が悪いここじゃ成功ってやつ雲隠れ俺たちの未来と空の色はグレー常に空気が悪いし水もダメ喘息が蔓延して身が持たねえ神様も逃げ出す最底辺なら書き残すこの目しか見れない経験カツカツな生活できない贅沢全てが窮屈でも唯一の本ガン出るのは目じゃなく名前だけこの決意に甘えはねえ
Alright, well, if we're done with that, we can move on to whatever you guys want to talk about.
Yeah, we don't have many people as we usually
No, we
do
don't.
here. I think it's because like scheduling conflict.
Yeah.
Like, I wish we could get Kitty in here. She'd have like something wonderful to say.
Yeah, it's true.
Let's see. Back to Netflix again. Sorry to bring you back there. Two things recently released. One more thing was released. A TV show / anime called Devilman Crybaby, which is Crank anime, if that makes sense. But I love Crank. I even love the show called Happy. But this anime I felt was very ridiculous and not in a good way. I didn't have fun watching it. I didn't really enjoy watching it. I was just kind of bored when it shows wild shit, but yet I just look at it going like, I think we've seen this like 20 years ago in other things.
Yeah, it's a bit dated.
And people online are mean to me. They're like, you can't know how to appreciate anything. It's like, duh.
Like, even though I like
Go
Nagai's style, he's kind of slocky in that way. And I guess it hasn't really aged that well. Yeah, a lot of his stuff, like Cutie Honey.
I don't recommend it because there's a scene where the main character has a wet dream and he wakes up and there's semen all over his ceiling.
Oh, yeah, I remember hearing about that. I haven't read much of the manga, but it's like insane and weird.
And there's no payoff to the joke other than, oh, there's semen on the ceiling.
Yeah, I could have went to
Doesn't
Fur
clean
Affinity
it
to see that.
or anything, probably still there. It's like, you gotta clean it.
It's okay.
Like if that were me, I'd be like, I don't care if you are possessed or part human. You're fucking cleaning that. You're not gonna mess up my house.
And then his mom dies. Then everyone dies.
I don't care how horny you are.
Because it's depressing.
Yeah, well, at least the show's over.
It ended? Like they finished it?
Yeah.
Huh. I'll have to watch it just out of curiosity, because, yeah, the OVAs were pretty funny, actually, like the dubbing. I think didn't they get like British people to like do American accents in a lot of those early animes, like in the 80s and stuff like that?
No, they just got Canadians.
Oh, okay, Canadians. So, and it's like clearly someone trying to put on an American accent. So yeah, watch the dub version of Devilman, the original one, if you want a good laugh.
But this show kind of sucks because you just get kind of nullified. So you just grow numb watching all this random shit happening where it's
Yeah, the violence just becomes excessive, I guess.
schlocky, very just like it just feels unimpressive. You're just like, we've seen shit like this done better somewhere else, and people are only loving it because like these characters are hinted at it being gay, which I'm like, I understand that it's important to have these type of characters in animation, but it's like, couldn't you have given them a better show and given them better lines, because there are characters there that are clearly evil, manipulative, abusive, but they're so dumb towards it. It's just like, dude, yes. And plus, they have one of the worst things I can never forgive an anime or anything for having for wannabe rappers. They're played by real life rappers in the show.
Oh.
Not the English dub, the original Japanese dub. And they're just like, they beatbox openings sometimes. And I'm just like, God, stop.
Was this script written in like the late 90s?
I hate it.
What the fuck? Why is there rapping? Like beatboxing too, that's so dated.
Because these are a bunch of wannabe rappers that hang around the characters and they talk about how much they hate their town. And there's a scene where the cops are going to arrest him and this one kid won't take his hands out of his pockets. And he acts like he has a gun and he's like, he doesn't care if he dies. And it's just like, these guys are morons. Jesus.
Just wait until anime catches on about people talking about their mixtapes. And that will be incorporated in the shows.
You had like a tape recorder in there. It's just like, you killed me. You almost got killed for your mixtape.
Oh, damn. They already beat me to it then.
It's like, I hope that character dies a painful death. There's a lot of sex in this thing, but it's done in a way where it's just more awkward, like real sex.
Awkward sex.
But it just looks, everyone looks so unappealing in it. It's just like, it wants to insult you, amaze you, and bore you at the same time. And it's supposedly a meta spin-off of a real anime called Devilman, which the character barely looks anything like the cartoon character he's based on. He's not even green or light blue. It's just like, I'm just like, I'm bored watching it. I guess
he's based off of the
offense
manga.
to the people that work on it.
I think it's probably.
I know, but it's just like, I've just got so bored watching it. I gave it all. I watched every episode. I gave it a chance. It has some smart commentaries on like how we perceive things and whether or not you can control the darkness in your heart and all that stereotypical anime bullshit. But it was just so boring, and I feel bad for a lot of the people that worked on this. I mean, yeah, they got paid well, but it's like they've kind of made themselves a laughing stock. And this is somebody who kisses asses of people like freaking David Ayer's Bright and all that shit. Like, I say, critics are wrong, all that shit. And my friends jokingly said, yeah, you blow that shit. But when this show comes along, you get all huffy and puffy about it. It's just like, yeah, because I thought it sucked. God help me when I have to sit through that god-awful Godzilla Monster Planet movie. I'm hoping it's good because, look, critics and audiences, they don't go into movies hoping to hate it unless it's Adam Sandler. But we just want to have a good time, and when we don't have a good time, we're angry about it, and we're pissed off at people for having a good time rather than we did because we feel excluded. And it really pisses us off. You know what I mean?
Oh, shit.
What was that?
Plus, it's
Sorry.
bad.
Clicked something.
Really bad. And I hope the Godzilla film, which is coming out on the 15th of January this year, so I recommend all of you guys go to Netflix and possibly add it to your queue, so that way when it comes on, you can have something to kill time watching. I'm going into it with an open mind, even though it's animated by Polygon Pictures. who did that Agent series and Blame and the Tron Uprising series, which I was a fan of, but like their later stuff, it just looks so cringe because it's CG animation trying to look like 2D animation using cell animation, but it comes off looking stiff and ridiculous. And apparently this Godzilla is a plant.
Oh. I don't know why they make these like drastic
taking a lot
changes.
of creative liberties.
Yeah, I don't get why they have to do that.
Because they want to appear cool and new.
So wait, would that mean when Godzilla does his like mouth beam attack thing, instead of like whatever the hell they call it, is it going to be like solar beam from Pokemon?
You have to wait a couple of minutes for it to recharge or to charge up.
Godzilla use solar beam.
It's super effective.
Godzilla hits civilian with solar beam. It's super effective.
I think, like, I mean, the design looks a lot better than Shin Gojiro's. I call him Turkeyzilla. Just replace his roar with
like Zoidberg's little.
That's all I could ever picture from it. But so far, I think Netflix is doing well with live action stuff now more than animated. I mean, we are getting that show 12 Forever, which may or may not suck.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going into this to like hate it. Like I went into first Voltron and wanting to like it, and I wound up being mixed about it. But I haven't really watched any of the other seasons. But I understand it's popular, and
it's all right.
Netflix is doing very well being producers and distributors. Which I'm curious is like they looked at Devilman and said, "We gotta have this," and it just makes me go like, "Fuck you, Netflix."
Just want to go to
They
Amazon.
gave you good characters. Yeah, that's what I'm probably gonna do. They got the Tick and Jean-Claude Van Damme. Netflix, you got nothing compared to that. You ain't got shit. But that's all I gotta say on that.
Yeah. Well, trying to think of something else. Is anybody?
This is an incredibly awkward podcast.
Yes.
Sorry.
Logan Paul.
No.
Oh yeah, that's who we should be talking about.
No. We're giving him
Of
attention.
course. Let's talk about the big man on Japan.
There was a screenshot I saw someone took from the comment section, and it said like, if I killed myself and Jake Paul found my body, I would have killed myself a second time.
Yeah, I kind of don't want to talk about it because it's just giving him more attention that he doesn't deserve because he just feeds off of it. I don't want to say he's a sociopath like a lot of people say he is. I just think he's just lived that life of being like a big time content creator where he's just this big disconnect. Just like actual celebrities when they get big, they just kind of forget to be people. If that makes any sense? Because they're so used to just playing up to the crowd, up to the the audience.
Logan Paul just does what he does because I think his audience is full of morons and they've just encouraged bad behavior from him because that's the only way he's gotten attention, which I heard he's actually a pretty good actor, but like
It's just
kind
not
of become consumed by his persona.
Yeah,
this whole thing just ruined.
I remember him from the Vine days.
This whole thing just ruined his reputation, but also the reputation of foreigners everywhere. Because like Japan is super strict about some of its laws, and this just basically proves to Japan, hey, all Americans are idiots, which we are not.
Oh,
just Logan Paul is. I even went on Twitter and said, as an American, I apologize for Logan Paul because he damn sure won't apologize for it.
Well, he made a half-assed apology.
That's not an apology. If you have to apologize, you have to mean it.
Yep.
Not include emojis with it.
I think almost gave me an aneurysm. Logan, if somehow your fan sent this to you as a way to spite you or a way so you can send hatred to us, I have something to say. And this is someone who plays with dolls, barely can take care of himself. Let's see, I've got a list, has freakouts on the internet, gets pissy because he couldn't get into other podcasts, has trust issues with people, and has not had a meaningful relationship in a long time. Grow the fuck up. You fucking child. You fucking child. My God. Grow the fuck up. You did something horrible and you act like a little kid who fucking stole a pencil from the teacher. You're phony. You don't
You're a
care
great
about
big
any of the
phony.
things you do. Your parents probably don't even care. Your brother damn sure doesn't care because he's too busy stalking Post Malone. And this is the end for your career. I recommend you get that job at Dunkin' Donuts or something. Hopefully they don't fire you or the boss doesn't kill himself and then you do a video about it.
And if you hear this from me, contact me at the desk of the commissar at gmail.com, and we can exchange banking information so that way you can provide stipends for the Imperial Army, in which you can be spared of any atrocities when the God Emperor sets his sights upon this rock.
I hope God Emperor Trump smites him.
You speak blasphemy now. You shut
God
up.
Emperor Trump will kill us all.
What if he just gives
He
Logan
is no
Paul
God
some-
Emperor, damn it.
What if Trump gives the world, like, gives all of our enemies Logan Paul, the Paul brothers, in exchange for world peace?
Oh, that'd
He
be
would
awesome.
throw those two to the curb.
Just a public execution in North Korea. Okay, fair
Or
enough.
worse, they make them watch their own videos without sleeping.
Oh my God. No, that's
They
just
like have the
throwing a
Clockwork
usual
Orange
punishment.
headset on them, and they're just forced to watch their vines
Mm.
on a loop for 2 years.
I don't know. If they're narcissists, they'll just enjoy it.
Probably.
Yeah, but no one like waters their eyes with droplets.
Oh.
Okay, they go.
Too harsh.
The madness consumes them all.
It's not clever.
I mean, like, legit, the Paul brothers, they used to be funny. Now they've become the anti-hero, not the villains of the internet. And it's worse than any IHE where we believed that they were innocent victims and then they became kind of more douchey than we knew. These guys are just douchebags. And IHE actually had a really good tweet about this where he said, I did a video where I destroyed several DVDs belonging to a shitty movie by a shitty animation company.
Wow.
And the Logan Paul brothers, they made several things where they harass people outside and do all that stuff. Their videos don't get taken down. While IHE's videos where he just destroyed a couple of DVDs and his videos got taken down. And his channel got removed too. Where Alex is a necessary evil person, but he is absolutely correct. What he did was small in the most microorganismed way compared to what the Paul brothers have done. And everything they've ever done so far is just to annoy people, not even in a fun Andy Kaufman way. They're actually endangering people. They're endangering themselves. They're endangering neighborhoods. They're endangering tourists. I bet Japan is actually going to have a bar for a year from American tourists, or have security forces monitor them wherever they go.
They'll probably just improve the security around that forest, if anything's going to come out of it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, just realistically speaking, because Japan, they know tourism provides money. They're not going to bar anyone from coming into the country. Now, because of the whole ordeal, I do likely see them working on improving security or even setting
some restrictions around that park because of the history and what often tends to happen with that park. That's the most I see coming out of this, if anything does come out of it on their end, realistically speaking.
Yeah.
But
Like,
yeah.
I'm honestly like a lot of people have already said this. Gajin Goomba tore down Logan about this. Lost Paws called him out on this, and I'm just gonna say it, Logan. You are just literally the scum of you and your brother really have no sense of, appreciating for the dead. You just only care about yourselves. I'm just gonna be blunt. Like, you're just a child.
And this is coming from us. We're fucking man children.
Exactly.
Yet we have more sense of responsibility and respect than you ever fucking could, dude. Like, grow the hell up. Atone for what you've done. Do something. Not just sit there going like, I'm sorry. Please remember to subscribe and check out my videos. I'm not going to take down the video where I showed a dead person who had, obviously suicidal feelings, who went into a woods to end their life. And then I understand he was shocked about what he saw, but
He shouldn't have shown. Like, he should have just been like, "Oh my god!" Then cut to him sitting in the car or something, and then just talking about what they saw.
Yeah, something like that.
it
would have been a
just
bit more
shows,
tasteful.
how spoiled he is. I'm a spoiled brat person as well. I come from way too much of a good life. But dude, he has had the world by the nutsack handed over to him. And he's a complete moron with it. Like, this is a person who's gone to college, went to acting classes, passed, I assume, and then it's like seeing somebody with a D average go to an state university where you see that you claim that these people were chosen by the world and their scholarships to come here to learn all these things, and they learn nothing from the people that have given them anything. And so many people have came forward saying, well, these guys are actually really stupid.
This is truly the world of ignorance that we now are forced to live in.
And no, we're not saying we're better than people. It's just right now we believe that we're more sane.
Well, I'm better than people.
That's because you're a Karmasar.
Exactly.
But it's just like, I feel like the crazy people like me are becoming the sane ones now. And that hurts you. That hurts. You've taken that from me. You've taken my insanity and forced me to be rational. You've taken my freedom, Logan Paul and Jake Paul. You've taken my madness. You, against my will, cured me. To a point where I'm not saying this just to be a meme. It's just like, dude, I am just legit disgusted. Like, I've done bad things. I know, I'm not clean either, but it's like, but I didn't do this. I wouldn't even upload this shit because guess who also watches the video? They're gonna know whose body that is. It's the fucking family of the victim. And I don't care if they don't even speak English. They know who that guy is who's lying there. Like, we saw his clothes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're going to know whose clothes those are. They was like, yeah, I got that for him. Oh, my God, that's where he went. And Vice made a good documentary about it where they meet people in the woods. They're like, hey, how are you doing today? I was like, oh, I'm doing good. It's like, okay, hey, you don't have to be here and all that stuff. Like, why couldn't we see Logan Paul actually talk to people that do that? Why does it have to be him mugging up for a camera acting like an idiot? Why? He's literally a character from a Michael Bay movie.
Yeah, I was thinking he's more like those early 2000s raunch comedies like American Pie and Do Where's My Car? He's like a character out of there, just like got teleported into the real world. He doesn't act like an actual person.
And unfortunately, we have to deal with him.
Yeah.
Even then, most of those characters still had some form of character development.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Most, not all.
Yeah. I usually don't like to talk about this kind of stuff, but
And I know we shouldn't be like ranting at the guy, but it's like no one else is going to can punish him for his actions. It just feels like it's that kid who's stomping at a Toys R Us while screaming, and no one, not even the mom or dad, are saying anything.
Mm-hmm.
You just go like, what's wrong with us? When is the bottom? We have reached, like South Park said, the bottom of the barrel.
Yep.
Like for goodness sakes, like we've lowered our standards so much. We're desperate to laugh. We're desperate that we're willing to like let people act like morons. It literally is the intro to the movie Idiocracy that is happening to our country, that is happening to our planet, to our society. It's all around the world, not just with American citizens, just people in general. There's a fucking comedy troupe in Japan where they attach things to their genitals and put firecrackers in their ass. That is legit a real thing. And that's comedy to people?
Oh, God.
This whole world's gone to hell ever since Trump got elected.
This was before
it's
then.
been
This was
going
like as soon as
hell.
the 2000s happened.
Trump was just the
We've gotten dumber.
cherry on top.
We've had things like reality TV. And yeah, I am blaming it because it literally is a show about nothing except watching people that are better than you live it up while you live in a trailer somewhere, choking yourself to death with fucking junk food.
I blame Seinfeld because that show was a show about nothing.
That show sucks. I don't care.
That show was awesome. You shut your whore mouth.
I have to watch that at work.
Oh.
It's a show about nothing. How do we know when it's over? I do. Flicks the channel.
And Friends as well, and just any form of reality TV, even cartoons nowadays. Steven Universe, you've sadly become that.
I don't know what that Steven Universe is good.
Only thing that's really holding me together is just like OKKO, and that show's awesome.
I don't know. I like Steven Universe. Since the new episode came out, we actually got a bit of a revelation.
Ooh.
Is it where Yellow Diamond supposedly killed Pink Diamond?
No,
It was the dog all along.
no, it's the Stranded little half-hour special that they showed a few days ago, and this is still kind of new, but we actually see Pink Diamond herself. Yeah, that threw me for a loop.
Yeah, I haven't really been keeping up with Steven Universe.
Yeah, it's still a good show. I mean, in my opinion.
I haven't even seen the first episode.
You haven't?
Nope.
I don't want to be mean, but like my friends jokingly say, gay alien space rocks with no genders.
Yeah, that's pretty much the.
That's a fairly accurate statement.
But yet they do have genders. But then they don't. But then they do. Then they don't. And then they do. And then they do. Then they don't. And
Well, no,
then they
I
do,
mean,
and then
they're
don't.
depicted as women, I guess.
Why can't I just say they're women? It's a society of women. Just stop being morons about it. Jesus.
Well, I mean, even with Warhammer, the orcs, which are space fungus that's sentient, that reproduces by spores, they're called boys, and they're all non-gendered.
I was gonna say, speaking of Warhammer related, have you been hearing the recent news about the new codex?
Which
Rather
new
like
codex?
I can't remember. It was about the recent edition of what's been going on lately in Warhammer 40k. Some people think it's going to be like the end time situation going on.
So, the thing about people calling for, it's going to be the end times, that has been a thing for such a long time. And it kind of dropped for like 3 or 4 years, and then when they advanced the storyline with I can't even remember what the set was, like the triumvirates and all that stuff. When it came to Robert Gilliman coming out of stasis, being revived, you have demon Primarchs coming back. People are now calling for the end times again when it's story advancement. And there's a lot of things with it that people aren't too big on to right now.
I
I
have
think
no
who did
idea.
we just lose? But I mean, it was David and I were talking. David and I were discussing about this a bit ago when this trailer dropped for uh this trailer dropped that showed the basketball to space and saying something like,
What was that,
and
Mark? Yeah, I can pick it up. For some reason, it like cut out.
Yeah.
David and I were talking about it, and it was like a teaser trailer or something, and I'm like, okay, and I couldn't remember exactly what it was about. What David said it was.
My computer kind of crapped out on me.
I've had that. Don't worry.
So
Happened to me.
I don't know where it was left out when I was on my tangent.
I don't know. I think Mark was talking about something Warhammer related. It was like the end times or something.
Yeah. Well, they've been advancing the storyline and all that stuff and introduce new things, and some people are freaking out, other people are liking it. Overall, a lot of the negative stuff is more prominent out there on it, but people are liking Warhammer more. I mean, more people have been coming into the hobby. They've been having issues with keeping up on stock on new items and stuff too. So, I mean, and their stock of the company's been going up. So, if anything, the new edition and stuff has actually improved Warhammer, and it's been growing more now. So, that's
I'll agree. I mean, I'm really excited because a lot of people are like David saying that I think Lehman Russ is going to be coming back as the next Primarch.
that's rumored. I mean, there were a couple of joke, what they call data slates, which is like stats and rules on things. There were a couple of joke. Well, there was a joke one that came out claiming he was going to come back as a demon. Someone then turned around and made one where he's as a loyalist Primarch. So no one knows which Primarch's coming back. My money would be placed on the Lion coming back, which is Space Knights, pretty much.
I mean, this is to me, this is going to be selling awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I wish I could contribute, but I know very little about Warhammer outside of like a couple of the games I've played.
That's okay.
I've been thinking about a few things like trying to remember now. I mean, I just see this one video about why there's always these Warhammer versus like Star Wars or Star Trek videos, and why Warhammer always wins. And the guy went to detail about the bit about like the various mechanics of the Warhammer universe, and between like other traditional sci-fi places like Star Wars, Warhammer has it beat.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing with it is how the writing's done. Because take a look at Star Wars or even Halo. The genetically modified super soldiers. They alone turn the tide of battle. Warhammer. Army of genetically modified super soldiers. They don't always win. Well, not Star Wars, they don't have the genetic modified, but like Sith or Jedi, how they turn the battle by themselves.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is, special characters are special. In Warhammer, yeah, special characters are still special, but they'll still kill off special characters every now and then, too.
Yeah.
Which I like as a writing dynamic, because it means your side's not always going to win.
No, they won't.
Like for some people out there who want to get into Warhammer and or not even like the miniatures, but more of the books and lore. A good starting place would actually be like the Gaunt's Ghosts book series. And even with that, like they have a lot of characters. Dan Abnett, the writer of the series, he writes characters really well, fleshes them out, and well, they serve in the Imperial Guard. Death is inevitable, and some of them die in shitty ways that make you feel disappointed or heartached about. So
The Empire did nothing wrong.
Speaking of, I guess
Don't
like, speaking
forget,
of,
never forget the Death Star.
speaking of, there's actually something I remember reading about Star Wars is the fact that the whole thing with Iden Versio, there's a bit of a controversy about her character.
yeah,
How she dropped everything at the drop of a hat when she found out what Project Cinder was going to do to her home.
oh,
You know,
oh, from the Battlefront 2 game.
yeah.
It kind of that I'm not too upset on because I've seen that and went through that in the campaign, and this was the place that was your home, and we're gonna blow it up. Why? Fuck you! We're blowing up your home.
Yeah,
And
but the thing is like a lot of people, like someone that I knew on DA basically made a comment about how they're calling out, like, basically Iden's motivations was because she's willing to commit various atrocities on other worlds. But when it comes to her world, she draws a line and then defects. Like,
yeah,
doesn't make any sense. I mean, Dell, I felt had the better characterization. You know, like,
yeah. I mean, was it the best? No. I mean, it made at least a monicum of sense, anyways, as opposed to like some of the things where it could have been like, oh, I realize we're doing atrocities and they could be on another world and they turn around and change sides. But I mean, with that, at least there was some form of motivation. Was it good motivation? Not entirely, but there was something there.
I know. Still, though, I mean, like, I get her reasonings and stuff, but at the same time, she could have gone bounty hunter instead.
Yeah, or mercenary.
That would have been interesting. Occasionally help out the rebels to atone, but mostly just stay away.
Yeah. I mean, there was a game I played on the PS Vita, which, yeah, I know. Vitas.
Renegade Squadron.
Oh, it wasn't Renegade Squadron. It was actually a Helgen game. No, what the hell is that series called with the Helgast?
Killzone?
Killzone, yes. You played as a mercenary, and you helped both the Vectans and the Helgas in it, but ultimately, in the end, you helped yourself.
Yeah, I know about that. Yeah, I think I actually have a download of that.
Like, if they did something like that, that would have been a lot cooler, because then it could show, like, the different sides of how they treat and react to things, and that would have had a better... I agree, that would have... Something like that, or going bounty hunter, would have definitely have made much more interesting.
Like, hold off on Iden going to the rebels until, sometime later. Like, push Operation Cinder to be, like, a bit, like, halfway through or something. Like, have Iden still be with the, halfway through, like, a few more missions with Iden, seeing more and more of the Empire's atrocities and starting to question. Dell's, like, starting to become more and more vocal against it, and ultimately Operation Cinder is when they finally draw the line.
Yeah, but the big thing is, like, Operation Cinders was a stupid thing to begin with, because the Emperor is like, I can't have my toys. No one can have toys.
Literally, he's just doing it out of spite, and Rebels did show that the Empire doesn't have any redeeming qualities.
At that point, they didn't. They didn't work on stability because they were too busy blowing themselves up. Following the orders of a dead man.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hey, Kitty.
Kitty.
How are you?
Oh my god.
Hi.
Oh, yeah. It's always good to have you on.
So I got my main thing working. So I'm
We
gonna
already ranted about
hop
Jake
ships real
Paul,
quickly.
so
Say again?
we already ranted about Jake Paul. So what do you want to talk about, Kitty?
Jake Paul. Who's Jake Paul?
Logan
Oh,
Paul.
Logan Paul.
Oh, okay. Oh, I
I'm
missed
sorry,
it.
those two are so alike.
I see. So you guys heard about that little hot mess situation, huh?
Yeah, he was a complete. He is just.
You know what's so funny? Hopefully by the towards the end of February, me and my boyfriend are supposed to go to Japan.
Well, I'm pretty sure Japan's never gonna let any foreigners go out there again.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. The thing of the matter is, it's only one person that's, being, optimistic and what have you. But still,
I'm not
stuff
Japan.
stuff like that shouldn't happen. That's something that I'm just putting my 2 cents in, not to backpedal or anything, but at a very young age, we're supposedly, and I know a lot of people say, oh, it's common sense, but common sense is not common. It's all based on the parents' ability to rear the child in the best way they can, in the sense of manners. I firmly believe manners matter, or as they would say, manners maketh a man, which is true. If you don't instill these practices early about manners and going into somebody else's home, make sure you follow their rules. You are a guest. Mind yourself. You can ask all the questions that you want, but remember, their rules, their home, their rules. But apparently, nobody taught him this, and even as a young adult, you're basically, this is a huge ripple effect. It's caused a lot of discomfort towards people who are big fans of the Japanese culture, or those who want to really learn about the Japanese culture. And it's like, come on, guy, you're basically ruining it for the rest of us. And this is the reason why a lot of cases we can't have nice things, as they would say, which shouldn't, which is unfair. Everybody should have some kind of degree of nice things or something precious to them. But, so, other than that, actually, it's been a while since I last saw you guys. First of all, happy Merry Christmas, or Happy Holidays, and a Happy New Year to everybody. It's been that long since we last saw each other. We saw each other in the new year in 2017. I think before Thanksgiving. I think that was that was a while ago.
And that also
I think
another
I
time.
even missed that one. So.
Oh.
So, trying to think. Did anybody see the Star Wars movie?
It's trash.
Yep.
It is. Mom and Dad went to go see it, and they said it was trash.
I'm
I
on
bought the tickets, and I wasted my money.
Uh-oh, got a feud.
Radio schmadio. Anybody who's gonna watch Star Wars, it's trash. Don't waste your money.
My apologies
Bright
to you.
instead.
My apologies to you guys.
Stop that sick.
Stop.
Oh, the irony of after talking about manners.
Yeah.
Yes, the irony of it all.
We're human beings. We're all hypocrites in some way.
But first of all, that's not me.
I know. I'm just poking fun at the situation.
First of all, I apologize for that.
They got something to say to you?
It's their radio show.
It's a podcast, not a radio show.
Yeah.
Podcast basically is, you know, you guys are running the show. You
Tomato,
guys
tomato.
were nice enough to invite me out. Whether or not, the thing is, you guys invited me out, and because you invited me out, I consider your rules, your house rules and what have you. So I'm trying to abide them as.
Oh no, that was fine. That was
to the
funny.
T as
That was
possible.
She was funny. I like that.
In any case, how was everybody's day today?
It was good.
Good. Played some
Good.
Shadow of War. I got me a new monitor for my tower, so I've been loving it. Still getting used to it.
Yeah, she doesn't know.
Yeah.
What that is
Monitor
much.
for a tower.
She doesn't know.
Computer
what that is much.
tower.
Oh,
Desktop.
I know what a tower is.
A computating device.
I know what a computating quota. I know what a tower is. I know
I
what
know.
a motherboard is.
just
I'm
playing
more
with you.
in tune with the hard drive. Hardware than software. Software. There's certain things that I know about software, but not as much, for the most part. So yeah. Today for me was kind of it was good, but as far as I had a rough time in D&D today. It was bad. It was really, really bad. Because, you see, I'm still learning about the nooks and crannies of Dungeons & Dragons. I don't know if you guys played that game at all.
Yep.
I have a bit.
I'm guessing not a fan.
It was good. I mean, it was like our first game and all, and the first game my friend of mine was a dungeon master, so it was pretty fun. Crazy though.
Yeah. Well, it's going on a couple of months. I would have to say, yeah, it's been a couple of months. Well, not couple of months. It's been what I have to say early summer. I started doing D&D with my boyfriend and a couple of, we formulated friends with DM, etc. And today we got stuck in, I don't know if you guys heard of Barovia or Ravenloft.
Ravenloft is fun.
I actually love it too, and it's the first time I actually did a character that's not out of my it's out of my comfort zone. I never played a villainous character before. Well, yeah, a villainous or an anti-hero character before. Usually I do a lot of how can I say it? A lot of hero-based characters, those of really good nature. There's nothing wrong with that, but this is the first time I actually play a anti-hero, and today was really bad. I nearly lost her. It could have died if it wasn't for one of my for at least one of my teammates. I don't know. It was just bad. Bad rolls, bad decisions. Just the whole entire thing was just bad. So, and I spent most of the time out of combat because I was pretty much knocked out. So it wasn't a really fun game for me this time around with her. So, yeah, it was rough. It's just I get really attached to my characters, and I really don't like to, see them. Well, in this particular case, get hurt the way they did, and it wasn't even from the enemy. It was from my own teammate, all because because it was misread improperly. So he can get very grudge ridden, or one of my teammates can be very grudge ridden, and yeah.
The player or the character?
I think both. I'm not entirely sure, but I think both. And it just didn't turn out well. So a mix of bad rolls and bad decisions. It was just a rough night. So it's like, yeah, those particular dice are on a timeout. I should have used my recently new dice that my boyfriend got me called the Queen's dice. I come to find that I fell in love with dice in general, and I have all these different colors. But I have these. I think they're called, what is it? Cobalt Sparkle dice. Well, these guys were basically causing me to have some serious bad luck, and I have to put them in a timeout.
There was a comic I saw where it said, first we kill his character, then at night we kill him.
Oh,
And it was
God.
dice talking.
What is this? Oh, God, that's terrible. So now, as far as D&D is concerned, at first because today was such a poor day, I wasn't really too amped about it, but now that my boyfriend's a DM, and I have to do some little homework and research regarding my characters. But now I feel a little amped about the next campaign that we're doing after Storm King's Thunder, called it's the World of Critical Role. So Taldore is the campaign that we're running, and it's going to be a very interesting one because it's D&D, but really not. It's homebrew, but it's not, that type of thing. So it's gonna be very interesting. It's gonna be very interesting with that.
When you make a new character, invest everything into charisma.
That's what I mainly do half the time, and that saves my ass.
Funny enough, a lot of my characters are either very charismatic or very dexterity. What is that sound?
Oh, sorry, I'm editing a video.
Oh, okay.
Some creepy music in the background.
Yeah, I'm like, what the heck is going on back there?
I thought it was his ice cream truck that he's got.
My fat ass needs an ice cream truck. Yeah, that's the last thing I need.
Well, I mean, you can drive and eat ice cream.
And make fun of people who don't have one.
Yeah, make fun of all the skinny people without ice cream.
It's like, please, can you have some ice cream? No! No!
Want to buy some ice cream? Too bad. And just drive
Sure,
off.
give me a quarter. Thanks for the free quarter, nerd.
So I'm really looking forward to this next campaign. It's just that I have to tweak her story a little bit. I gave a little bit too much information on her and not giving enough chance for the DM to play around. So I have to tweak it so it's so I have to unravel it a little bit.
And they started up a campaign, and I have decided to do the most worthless character ever. A doctor character who is based around a plague doctor, but his knowledge of medicine and stuff is that of medieval Europe. So he knows jack shit. But he's gonna be a charisma and intelligence-based character. Charisma on the most important, and intelligence is the second. Mainly because so that way he can still kind of know of what to do, but still not do things correctly. And use charisma to be like, well, it's for my doctoring fee. And
Okay.
I don't expect him to live long.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh no! I always make new characters whenever I start a new campaign.
Well, it depends with me. It really depends with me. When I mean, of course, starting a new character for each campaign, but there's sometimes where you want to continue with this character or what have you, and build their story up more.
Yeah, the reason I do new characters frequently is mainly because I want to test out different classes and play around with different builds and stuff. And
that's same here. Same here.
To me, I can't have the same character do a different class because then it reminds me of when I used to DM games and I had someone who did that, and I don't talk to that person because he was.
I said I was sorry.
Not you. He was cringier than you.
Oh.
Wow.
Again, I
what
said
happened?
I was sorry.
I can't
Let it
speak of it
go.
right now. Maybe for another time.
Okay,
That's pretty funny.
yeah. So anything else going?
Any movies you want to see, Kitty?
Say again?
Any TV shows, anime, or movie you want to see, Kitty?
Well, okay. I've been also on a large anime binge as of lately.
They brought Full Metal Alchemist back to Netflix.
Well, of course, when I don't need to watch it anymore because I've seen the end of it,
And now
which
it's back.
that's a shame. Then afterwards, I ran through Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I caught up of My Hero Academia. I finished No Game, No Life, which was very interesting. Completely what is it? The artwork is just gorgeous, and the universe is very interesting. I already have my favorite race out of that universe, and I already have a favorite character. But of course, they're not going to show too much of the favorite character because they haven't done season 2 yet, which unfortunately got canceled. So I'm kind of upset behind that.
Canceled?
From what I hear, yes.
Holy shit! No wonder we haven't heard much from them.
So I'm very bothered behind that, especially the fact that I really like the design of the design of No Game No Life.
Oh no, I mean like some things
You
are.
have a favorite Full Metal Alchemist character?
That's I would have to say Mustang is still my all-time fave. Of course, Greed is another one. Greed is, oh god, he's just, despite the fact that he has a really tough exterior, he's a real sweetheart. Come down to it, he's just a sweetie, even though he doesn't like to show it.
My favorites are either Kimberly or Envy. Just something about them I love.
Envy, it was a proper end for him because he deserved every bit. He deserved every bit of the punishment that he got. It was,
I thought the 2003 Envy was a lot better.
I have to.
He actually had a reason to want to kill everybody.
And what was that? I forgot.
Because his dad didn't love him.
He was the
dad didn't finish him.
I feel this one was a lot better because he was the essence of what Envy is. He wants to be like everybody else but himself. And
he doesn't have a real form.
That's just it. Basically, he died from an identity crisis.
But in the 2003 one, he was proud of who he was.
But that would be the definition of pride. Which actually, Pride, woo!
Pride was awesome.
Yeah, that's why I was like, oh,
He was a lot better than Wrath. That's for sure.
Oh my god. Well, yeah, Wrath. Well, I like the red herring aspect of Wrath and Pride. So I was really happy that they switched that up.
Yeah, Wrath is I remember because I think the 2003 version had that switched up. I think.
Yeah. Wrath was this young kid who had the arm.
Ed's
right.
Original arm and leg.
Right. Exactly. And then Pride was the Führer. So
they changed that up big time in the recent one.
I'm okay with the switch back in the manga version. I was not
have
opposed.
A lot better ending than 2003, and it doesn't. Unlike 2003,
oh yeah,
it doesn't have wasted characters. But again, I feel like the homunculi were way better because they had more of a backstory, and there's just They're kind of like an evil X-Men.
Evil X-Men. No! No, don't say
That's what
that.
they were. They were people who were freaks by society, and these people were failed clones, and they're literally immortal, but they actually feel incomplete, and they have this weird sort of internal and external body dysmorphia with what they are, except for Envy, who's like, he's envious of what people have, but at the same time, he would rather die than be a human again.
Well, you know what else is... Well, the thing is, the only thing that I would have to say out of the homunculus that I didn't like from the change in Brotherhood was Sloth. I was actually happy that Sloth looked like their mother to kind of confront, hey, this is what you did. And your sin is basically taking a actual form and confronting that sin and owning that sin in a way. So I can understand from Sloth's point of view, but other than that, I think everybody was fine in the rendition of Brotherhood. And the reason why is the actual villain of the story, Father. I felt the original villain, Dante, based on Dante's Inferno, for other reasons, was kind of a slap together character. She basically had a sort of a cookie cutter, what a basic, I dare I say, yeah, that's basically what she was. She was the usual, hey,
She's a body snatcher.
yeah.
But again, it's just like the homunculi were my favorite part of there. And when I see them like that, it's like, it's given us better things, such as a better version of Scar, a better version of Kimberly. Rose isn't a main character for no reason. It felt like a lot of what made it good, they didn't decide to keep that. They were just like, nope, we're just going 100%. We're not stopping. And all that stuff, because there were characters I loved. I loved hearing Lust's voice again. I loved seeing Gluttony again. I loved all of them, but they did nothing. They were just there. It's sad when you don't have these characters, who are the most marketed of them, mind you. Lust, Envy, and Gluttony are the most marketed versions of the villains are there, and they always tease them at the end of every single one of the credits. And there's this like large fan base that loved them, and to see them treated like that is just like, it's criminal in my opinion. But hey, that's how the animation industry works, and whatever. They were trying to be loyal to the manga, which just because it's loyal doesn't mean it's absolutely great. Like, they can make the best Superman movie that's really loyal to the comics. That doesn't make it a great movie. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Loyal doesn't always mean it's going to be good, because some things are just too redonkulous for that. And I always felt like they should have kept the main story, maybe kept Father and everything, but maybe him being kind of like somebody who took people like Envy and the others in, where it's like, hey, I'm just like you. You can have a home here. You know, something like that.
They took the more I feel they did the more biblical route with Brotherhood, which technically that's what it originally at its essence was all about. The other one was more like a subtle hashing of Dante's Inferno.
I understand. I don't like it, but I understand.
I watched Brotherhood. I just haven't watched in a while to really talk about it.
There are better animes out there. I mean, like there's Cyborg 009, there's Agent, there's...
I need to get back
King
to
of the
IG
Hill.
because I've been watching Twin Star Exorcist lately.
Oh, they even got Tiger and Bunny now. Like,
Oh yeah.
I like that show so far. It's like that kind of bad movie, Mystery Men, but better. Like, I grew up with Mystery Man, and that movie sucks, but that's just my opinion. So, I like this thing that they did with Tiger and Bunny, which is like a 20 rough or whatever.
Is that like when all the superheroes are like
Tiger and Bunny
marketed?
is just a superhero show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have like all these ads on them.
Yeah, it's where they make money being a superhero, which I feel like One Punch Man, which I'm excited for season 2, did so much better. And then sadly, we also get shitty anime don't worry, it's not on Netflix, it's on Crackle. No, not on Crunchyroll. Like Evil or Live, which really pisses me off because it's based on a real event where kids in China are sent to these facilities to cure internet addiction, but really they sexually abuse them and shit.
Oh my god.
Well, they don't sexually abuse them, they also just beat them.
Like, that makes it
Apparently in the
better.
article, they also did electroshock therapy on people.
Oh,
That's still terrible.
jeez.
It's like one kid killed himself and the other killed her mother by tying her up and not feeding her.
That's
And like
terrible.
that, this anime is still ongoing, and it's like for some reason this anime is the one that really got to me out of any other anime. Which I warn you, if you guys watch this thing, you will get pissed off. But I also hope this starts a mass protest against these type of facilities.
And what facilities are these?
So, they're internet addiction rehabilitation clinics. They're camps, essentially, where it's a boot camp.
Oh my god.
By, I think, the Chinese government.
I mean,
Uh-uh.
protesting in China's not going to do much on that.
Yeah, they'll just shoot you.
Dude, it's terrible.
Messed up is what it is.
And guess what? The characters in the show, only 2% of the characters are actually in there for internet addiction. Other people are perverts, abused people who were just sent there because they wouldn't go along with something, or just betrayed and sent there to get out of a court deal.
Huh.
It's like they're not even hiding that, and it's just like, why can't it actually be a story about a kid who has an addiction from it and actually confronting his addiction and learning from it? No, we're going to talk about this depressing real event that happens. And it's not just the kids that get abused. Like, the freaking staff get beat up by people when they don't do their jobs.
Messed up.
And it just, like, it pisses me off that this actually exists. And if anyone who's watching this in China, just, like, do something to stop this. Please. People have died. Enough. I'm sorry if I rambled there. It's just like, God. Really makes me hate humanity, you know? I understand I have a little bit of an internet addiction. Who doesn't? Because we rely on it so much. But, like, aren't there camps that actually teach kids about nature and to put the phone away that actually work? It irks me. A lot of things do irk me, but this one really got to me the most. I commend the artist for sticking through this and made whatever manga it was to talk about this type of thing, but I also mean F you as well because I had to sit through it, but no one forced me to watch it, so I have no one to be angry at but myself. But I'm glad I'm aware that these places exist. And if the parents of that kid who died are watching this, I just go, do something about this and, like, no one else has to suffer too. And they didn't know this was happening to their son. They found out after he died, a coroner showed him the body, and they found that his body was covered in bruises.
Ugh. And this is a real thing?
Yes, look it up.
Oh my god.
I'm
sorry. I was a little spaced out because I didn't hear most of the conversation. I was actually dealing with my DA brother. He scared me also with I know this might not mean much because of the fact compared to what you're talking about, because those are real lives being lost. But also this is not necessarily lives being lost, but livelihoods being lost as well. So real quick, not to deviate from the topic, but a certain somebody who is now, I'm not sure if this is allowed. Is this allowed on the podcast? Talking about the furry community.
Oh, that's fine.
What happened?
We talk about it all the time.
Did I step on a landmine?
Nah.
No, I'm just
No. We I
wondering.
think we could talk about the furries and all that stuff.
Okay. Real quick. I'm sorry, like I said, to deter from the subject matter at hand, but I feel this is also important for all the artists out there, because I'm a fellow artist too, and it's very difficult for us that are small time. But people who are on Patreon, like myself, has reported a website called, I believe it's called Yif Party.
Oh, jeez.
And my DA brother warned me about this place because it's been taking liberties of other people's artwork and putting on their sites for free. And for Patreon, for small time artists, if you want to support any type of donation that you get, or wish to put out, that's some kind of income coming in. I know for a fact, me personally, I don't get a lot from the Patreon, because I just started recently last year. What day did I start? Hold on a second. I started sometime last year. I think late last year or mid last year, I believe, is when I started. Well, yeah, basically sometime last year. So it's not a lot. A lot of stuff that we do is, well, it's not a lot, and we're trying to get by. And for this guy to come along and do these things, it's terrible. It really is very terrible and very thoughtless of them to do that. So, yeah, a lot of people are, I just wanted to put that out there. So if you guys go, please, whatever you do, avoid that site. Also, for artists out there that are furry fans, if you see your artwork over there, speak up, say something, because the more people band together and talk about this guy in a negative light, hopefully he gets a lot of heat for it, because stealing artwork is wrong.
For some people out there too, copyright some of your stuff. So if you do see it up on there, you can take legal action too.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. Any type, because I don't know what goes on in these people's heads, but they feel that they can take liberties.
I know my friend Dustin's actually been trying to figure out how to copyright his pictures, so in case if this happens. I didn't even actually think about doing that too.
You can watermark it.
Yeah. I go through the actual, legal system. You can do it online on the legal system and give them, your art files for it. All your unique and your more personal work.
Yeah.
Professional. If it's personal, you're just keeping it to yourself then.
Well, I mean, personal work, but like professional work, like, OCs that you want to turn into comics and stuff like that. And, stuff like, it's just that type of stuff. That's what I mean. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Janine?
Yeah, it's also been a problem on DA.
Hold on a second. I'm sorry. You must excuse me. Hold on.
No problem. Yeah.
You shall be excused then.
Yeah, that problem's been on DA for a while. They're like taking art and like reusing it elsewhere.
Wait, where are you going?
It's quite a problem, but what can you do?
Legal action.
Yeah, get more brand recognition.
Yeah. Okay, well, I guess we could just talk and wait till Kitty gets back. Anything else, lads?
Yes.
What?
What?
What? I called you
I
lads.
heard someone say anything else, lads.
Yeah.
I've got like more things to say, more or less just it's just everyone out there who hears us, we say some pretty controversial things, but we do it from a place of where we somehow do believe the things we say. Also, it's mostly from a place of passion and anger in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Where what I was talking about with that Chinese place is the fact that facilities like that should be treating people, not beating them. And I've seen people talk about this on YouTube, and they've been bombarded by people who live in China saying, "You don't get it. That's not your culture. This is our problem. We have to deal with it." And my retort is, yeah, you're dealing with it horribly, where you're beating people. You're treating them as these kids who don't know when to shut the fucking TV off as offenders. You're treating them as if they have committed a crime. And you did not reform them. You did not treat them. You did not do anything but make them angrier, hostile, all because you want them to be a part of your society. And if that's what your society is, then your society probably will not go anywhere.
That's like one of the things I always hate as an argument is it's not your culture, you don't understand. Like, while cultures are different, that doesn't, and this is going to be a controversial point, not all cultures are equal either. Like,
Part of
for
me
some
wants
of the
to actually
cultures
call out
that
the person
will
that said that, though. Just like
degrade
actually
people
say
and
her
stuff,
real
like,
name.
like a culture that will degrade someone, that's not equal to a culture where you view the individual as a person of value. And it's those things that always irks me is when people say that, like, you don't understand the culture. It's like, you don't have to be understanding of the culture to have a moral compass. But that's my 2 cents there.
I am so sorry. My house. See, I hope you don't think my side of the house is insane. It's just.
Yeah. I'm just glad you haven't.
I had to run outside, no shoes, just socks, outside in the bitter cold, where there's ice and everything, to help out my sibling. So, if I'm a little winded, now you know.
That's fine.
At least, kind of glad you guys haven't seen my house when it's crazy.
Oh goodness. So, oh goodness gracious, $3 workers. So right now, what the heck? So right now, what was the subject matter? I completely forgot after that. But yes. As far as livelihood is concerned, it's something that has to be considered. And yes, copyright. Please, everybody. Trademarks, characters, story ideas. Do your best. I know it's very hard, and I know you're very tempted to go out and say, oh, this is my work. I hope you guys like it. Yes. That's why I do a lot of fan art. It's very rare that I do OCs because, it takes a little bit of time to do copyright or something like that. So, but try your best. I know also it's very difficult because of the fact that it's very expensive to copyright, but just try your best. Try your darnest. Because it really would pain me to see any fellow artists getting their stuff stolen.
Especially if it's your livelihood. Protect it.
Yes, please. So, hopefully on a cheerier note, as far as to go back to the anime scene, I got into Hunter x Hunter. Finally!
Yes.
I need to get back into that show. I haven't been watching it lately.
Yeah, me too.
I know I've been, actually, luckily enough, I've been mowing right through it. It's that interesting to me that that I would go through that series pretty quickly. Right now I'm episode 36. I know there's like over 200 episodes, but if I can get by 100 episodes in, I think I can. So hold on a second.
Okay, yeah, I like Hunter x Hunter. It's pretty good. I watched the 90s version of
Repeat
it.
that again.
I was just saying I like the 90s version of it. That's when I
You like
watched.
the 90s version of it?
Yeah, there's a 1995, I think, version of Hunter x Hunter, an anime. Yeah, it was good, but I watched a little bit of the 2011 one, and a little bit of the manga.
Oh, you didn't care for it that much?
It was good. I don't know. I'm just busy watching other stuff. I kind of just forgot about it. But I will
Forgot
get back
about
into it because it's getting interesting in the
Okay.
with the chimera ants and all that in the later story arc. It turns into basically
Okay.
DBZ.
I understand that. I must admit, Ahsoka,
Oh yeah, Ahsoka.
Ahsoka,
I think.
wow. All I can say is wow. Like at first I was like, he's not that strange. A lot of people, were saying some really strange stuff about him. Oh God, this guy is creepy. And I was like, he looks ridiculous, and he looks like he jumped out of a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure comic, but nothing too strange. But then as the series went on, it's like, oh, now I see exactly what everybody is like complaining about. Okay, yeah, he's definitely a person you definitely don't want to mess with or actually wind up seeing in an alley somewhere. And all the jokes, I think all the jokes. Is it all the jokes? Yeah, I think all the jokes. As far as manga is concerned, now please forgive me. I'm going into certain interest territory.
Okay.
This manga called Blood Bank.
Oh.
So if you guys like,
I've seen that.
Okay,
My
so
ex told me about it.
Oh, really? It's that old? Like I thought it was fairly
recent
new.
breakup.
I'm
Oh.
sorry.
Gosh.
Oh, I am so sorry. My fault.
I didn't mean to
s-
laugh, but just the whole retort of "It's that old." Just I'm sorry, that made me chuckle.
Well, I was saying that, a lot of people knew about it before I did. So I was wondering if it was a recent anime or an old anime. My heart is broken. A piece of it is just like, now there's like a little piece, like I can feel my heart cracking a little bit. Because of the fact that I said that. I am so sorry. I really am.
It's all right.
If I could, I would hug you so hard. I am so sorry.
I'd hug you too, but you'd have to take a shower first, Trench.
Oh God. But is it okay? Can we talk about that manga? I mean, if it makes you feel uncomfortable, I won't talk about it.
Is it okay? Okay, Scott? I think that's a yes.
I think we lost him.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I mean, like he cuts out earlier.
So you got to Lou?
Yeah, huh?
Oh, sorry, I didn't know I cut out. I said, any of you guys have any
Projects, you said?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any new projects coming up?
Well, for me, right now, the two biggest projects that I have going is, since Christmas was such a huge thing, I have this little series, drawing series called the 12 Pokemons of Christmas. And right now, I'm up to, I believe, day 6. I have only posted one and day 1 and day 2. 3 should be posted very, very soon. I think a lot of people will appreciate number 3. Number 4 is another one I think people would like, but yeah, I'm working on the 12 Pokemon of Christmas. You know, the 12 days of Christmas, my true love gave to me. That you know that whole jam. So
That sounds cute.
so far, I'm not going to tell you, but like I said, if you wish to take a look, you guys can check out my different websites and what have you, and
I'll
you'll
link
see
it.
them.
Okay. Yeah. I said I'll link it in the description.
Okay.
And for me, I'm getting off my lazy ass and actually going to be contributing stuff to my channel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's going to be another YouTuber talking about Warhammer shit, so.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just check that out.
Warhammer. Isn't that similar? Isn't Warhammer similar to Dungeons and Dragons, but only in space?
There's different aspects of Warhammer. So you have the books, which is all the lore and stuff. You have the video games. You have the miniatures game, which is older Warhammer, like Rogue Trader was like D&D, where it had a DM, but it was battles. Then you have what I also play, like the role-playing games like Dark Heresy, where you do a individual character. It is a different dice format. It runs on a D100 system.
Okay.
So.
If you're gonna stay in the room, stay in the room.
I'm sorry.
Sorry for what?
Just keep going. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's fine.
Just keep going.
Stay in your room.
Okay. Anyway.
Stay in your room, Carvasar. Don't make me get the belt.
Oh, stop.
I'll flog
That's
you.
not right.
You stop there, Trench. I'll have you flogged and then.
How dare you? That's terrible.
He's a commissar of the
I
Imperium.
make you collect pogs.
Wow, Pogs. No, all right, no more, like, you're making me feel all old and stuff. Pogs. Are you kidding me?
Remember
No,
the
you want to know
90s?
what makes me feel old? Furby.
Remember the 90s? Stop.
If you really want to feel old, just look up how long ago Fairly Odd Parents came out.
Please, no, please. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that to myself.
I didn't say I was gonna tell you. I said if you want to feel old, look at it.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a role-playing game aspect.
Sorry, that's my dog. Well, actually.
Okay.
It's gonna be fun to edit.
My dog is I'm really sorry how
it's alright.
I'm sorry this made your job a lot more difficult.
No, it's fun. I like it.
That's okay. I think we all make his job difficult. So.
Yeah. It's a
Especially
challenge.
when I act out.
Yeah, I was gonna keep you in line. Okay, so Com, as you were saying. Oh jeez.
Well, basically that's most of the gist. The video I am working on is actually the first video I'm gonna release, anyways, is gonna be explaining like what is Warhammer. So.
Okay.
What is
I actually know that
Warhammer?
there's a
Please
Lord-
don't emperor me. Don't emperor me. No more.
Huh?
Funny.
Trench. Does anyone else agree that Trench needs to be beaten for that?
Okay.
What? No, don't. What? No, stop it.
Ooh, and you know my kink.
What?
Ew.
Oh god.
You had to go there. You had to go with the count.
Yeah.
Why? What's the matter? Did I miss something?
It's mayhem.
Don't worry about it. He
Yeah.
said something you don't need to worry about.
They said, hey, don't you think Trench deserves to be beaten? And I go, ooh, you found out my kink.
You had to say
Oh, that
it.
is so wrong. Come on now, don't
He
do
had
that.
to repeat it. You mean?
It's like, Trench, stop. It's like, wait, did you?
Oh yeah,
say-
and Kitty,
you said keep
don't
going?
worry about when I threaten Trench, because I do it all the time, because we know each other for like
Okay.
since elementary school, regrettably.
Oh, gee, that's lovely.
I was his only friend in middle school.
No, you weren't. I was your only.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
You make
It's called mental gymnastics. It happens. For the
Wow.
worst of us. I got better.
Anyways, aside of that awkwardness there.
Well, now that yeah, that was pretty awkward, but also
Oh, it's going to get more awkward.
Oh boy.
Oh.
Yes, because I and there's and I there.
Yeah, I think
there's that.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's time to
What's wrong?
say goodbye.
Yeah.
Hmm?
You guys want to end it off here right now? Unless you have anything
Sure.
else. Okay, well, guess that's a yes.
I'm really sorry that craziness that was going on has caused so much of a problem.
You haven't done a dang thing wrong.
It
It's
was-
just
it
stuff
was
that
trash.
happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was mostly me.
But I hope maybe soon that we can get together and do this again. But have like a little bit more I guess freedom.
We should do a drunken episode.
Yes.
Oh no. Well, see,
God.
I think that might be a little bit hard on my end because I don't drink.
Huh.
You know what I'm drunk on? Sadness.
I've never drunk before in my life, and yeah, I want to see how this happens.
First time start.
Only warning is I'm like, one time at a party I got drunk and I forgot to speak English and I was speaking German because that's the second language I can speak.
Oh wow!
So
Bilingual.
I was
Cool.
saying things in German, and some of the people, I'm used to people looking confused because I say weird things anyways. And
Like
they
at one
look
time, we
confused.
actually went to see Pacific Rim. We had a bit where he would pretend to be my cousin from Russia, and people there, I had to translate for him with like I think it was sign language, or you told me gave me some lines to say in Russian. When
No,
we were getting
I was
popcorn.
saying some stuff in Russian, and I told you how to react with that.
Yeah. So far, people were like really into it. They were just like, "Oh, wow, he just got off the boat."
Nico, cousin!
Nico, time for us to do American thing called bowling.
There's some people, cousin, that I owe money to.
It sucks because I actually do look like Cousin Bell.
Oh.
No.
Oh,
my,
Lord.
my one fear.
You become Nico.
No, the other one.
Yeah.
Roman.
You
I
became
call
the fat
people to go
one, I was
bowling.
Nico.
I send him Commissar on ridiculous side quests that never get finished.
Oh my god.
People always die and then play skip button through it when they die 3 times.
I don't even attempt the quest because I don't care. No.
It's like, give me Twinkie, cousin.
You get it yourself. You need to walk. You're getting fat.
I am fat. There's nothing you can do about it.
You need to walk for a Twinkie then.
Just put me on a better and a Twinkie.
Walk,
Watch,
get
Putin
more
gets
fat,
wind of what
cousin.
we're doing, and then he just sends the KGB after us.
Okay.
I think they just send them after us just to stop us from doing this.
Yeah.
Putin sends a hit squad after us.
It's like,
because
I'm
of the-
sick of these videos. They never give me shoutouts. They don't acknowledge my dank meme of a freaking pigeon saluting me.
Or
that
him rising
meme
out of the
haunts
sea
my
like a Bond
dreams.
villain. No,
Uh-oh.
no, sure, that is legit.
Uh-oh. What's
Someone's
going
getting
on?
a Skype call in a Skype call.
I know.
Yeah, I saw
That's a
Skypeception.
Skypeception.
Sorry, that was me. That was on my part. My boyfriend was calling me.
Okay, well, we can end it off tonight. That's fine. If with you guys.
Yep.
You know. All right.
All right.
Goodbye, everybody.
Let's hope we can get Disco Spider back in.
Goodbye.
Boy.
Bye.
Bye-bye.